afternoon, D&AD. I am super excited to be here. That's how we start all LEGO talks. My name's Emma Perkins, and I am head of LEGO Agency in London. And I'm here to open the door and invite you in to come on a little tour of the LEGO Group and our LEGO Agency, the in-house agency team. So we're going to be talking today about LEGO's brand purpose, but also how we in the agency connect with kids, with fans and culture. Now, we start every LEGO meeting with a play starter. I can see my team in the front row here. They can attest to the fact that they have to continuously come up with new ways to start meetings in a playful way. So I want you to have a little think. How many combinations do you think can be made from these 6 2x4 bricks? Have a little think. I know, that is the same reaction I have every time I see that number. It's over 950 million different ways that just 6 Lego bricks can be put together. So that really tells us that Lego bricks are the embodiment of imagination and creativity. Now, I'm sure most of you, all of you, know the LEGO brand. Maybe you even love the LEGO brand. Maybe you played with it as a child. Maybe, like me, you're still building. But today we want to talk about, get under the skin of perhaps what makes our brand unique. And we think that that is summarized by this here. This is the LEGO brand purpose. And this isn't something that you'll see on walls in our buildings. This is something I can genuinely say we live and breathe every day, because children are our role models. Our mission is to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. And our vision is to be a global force for learning through play. And this is what keeps 30,000 colleagues around the world all moving in the same direction and together building something better. So a little bit of history for you. We've been family owned for over 90 years, now in the hands of the 4th generation of the family. Lots of people don't realise that we're still family owned. It's quite incredible. And we are proudly Danish at heart. In fact, our name comes from 2 Danish words. There's my bottle of water. Which mean play well. And playing well is something we take very seriously, I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear. So I've got another prop in this pocket, and I wanted to share here, this is my business card. It's a Lego minifigure, so I'm immortalized in 4 centimeters of minifigure there. We are over 30,000 people around the world across 120 locations. And in the last 5 years alone, we have doubled in size and we've doubled in revenue. I've been there 8 years. It has been quite something to witness. And we are now the #1 toy company, which isn't bad for a company built on play. But how do we keep evolving as a brand? When you're 90 years young, how do you stay relevant? This is something I get asked quite a lot. How do you reach new audiences? So we have an incredible ecosystem to tap into. I mean, there are many things that contribute to this, but in the agency, what's so wonderful is having this amazing ecosystem to play with. In fact, we now have over 1,000 branded stores, and we're building on these touch points all the time. So yes, we have a physical presence, but we're also building on our digital presence continuously. So our LEGO YouTube channel, for instance, is one of the biggest branded channels in the world. It's fueled by fan content and racked up over 100 billion hours watched last year alone. I think my kids contributed to several of those. And we're proud to say that this pays dividends for our brand perception as well. Our products are award-winning. Time voted us, gave us an award for a best invention in 2023 for the incredible Braille bricks. And RepTrak recently named us the #1 most reputable brand in the world, again, not the most reputable toy brand, the most reputable brand. And we are super humbled by these kinds of accolades, and it's not something that we take lightly either. In terms of how that plays out in the agency, we are brand guardians. We're custodians of this incredible brand, and we take great care with our brand. And like me, many of my colleagues, it's the love of the brand that drew us to work there. So let's talk about who works at the LEGO agency. So our LEGO agency is the strategic and creative powerhouse inside the LEGO group. We do everything from packaging, design identity, all of the social content, TV, everything you see in our stores. And we're headquartered in Billund. We have an incredible campus in Billund, which is the home of the brick. But we also have hubs all around the world, and we're 420 amazing creative minds across those offices, and that makes us one of the biggest internal setups out there. So what sets us apart? Well, many things again, but just to focus on a couple. One is our lead agency model, and the second is the size of our strategy teams. And those two things are actually quite unusual in the in-house setup. In fact, only 15% of in-house agencies would say that they take the lead. I also get asked, Emma, what is the secret sauce? How does LEGO do what it does? And I'm very fortunate to go behind the curtain into the red zone every day, which is the top secret bit of the top secret buildings, and see how it's done. And of course, it's our brand and our brand strength. And because we're family owned, we get to make big, bold, long-term statements and investments in our brand. And we don't just talk about play. Remember that purpose that I showed earlier on? We champion it. And after many years of work, we were thrilled last year when we were able to support the UN in recognizing June the 11th as the official International Day of Play. So we're very excited to be celebrating that next month. But of course, cultural resonance is incredibly important for any brand today, and we need to continuously show up in big and unexpected ways. So take us showing up with Fortnite in a kind of first of its kind game for children, which yes is fun, but it's also safe, and that is incredibly important to us. Or how we're making waves with our Formula One partnership, which is quite new. Oh, and Pharrell made the story of his life with Lego bricks last year. His film, Piece by Piece, if any of you in this room are interested in creative storytelling and the life of one of the most incredible creatives I've ever learned about, then you must watch Piece by Piece. It is absolutely phenomenal. And yes, Snoop does make an appearance in brick form with very long legs. We also talk about humour. We think this is a real superpower of the LEGO brand. And we ask ourselves in the creative team, is this something only the LEGO brand could do? Kids want more variety, more humour, and more connection in the world. And so we think, if it makes you smile in Lego form, then we're probably onto something. And yeah, we do think everything is funnier in Lego bricks. So an example of this, a recent example of this, at the very top there on the right, you'll see the first post that we put out on our social channels. Total nonsense. Just a series of random letters and numbers, no context. We didn't give the fans on our channels any understanding of what this meant. They thought we'd lost the plot. They actually wrote to us, you know, are you okay, Lego? And then we followed up with a post to show that actually it was our Lego tuxedo cat that had sat on our keyboard and sent that post. It's a playful take on the world. That's what we get to do with our products, with the Lego bricks, with our communication. And that makes it very fun to work on, for sure. 14 million views, that one post. So I share that because it's a really fantastic example of what an in-house agency team can do. One of the huge benefits of having an internal team is that we're completely immersed in the brand. Now, that isn't for everyone. If you're not interested in Lego or any of the IPs that we work on, perhaps that would be boring. I haven't met someone like that yet, but they probably exist and don't work for us. So we're immersed in the brand, and we have a superior understanding of our products. We really understand the DNA of the brand. So when the team came up with the tuxedo cat post idea, they knew exactly who to pick up the phone to. They knew exactly where to get the approvals and where decisions are made in the Lego group to move fast. And so that decision making is a really important part of how the agency sits within the Lego group. So another example, my boss, our SVP, Nick Taylor, who sits in Denmark, she sits at the table with our Chief Product and Marketing Officer, Julia Goldin, and it's there that the discussions and decisions are made around our whole product portfolio, our brand, our marketing, our films, our TV series, and the agency is at the table when those decisions are made. And that means that there are incredibly important and useful discussions had at a leadership level, and that pays dividends for our work. And we think that actually stops the churn that you could sometimes experience in a more typical agency and client relationship. We also talk about having skin in the game, and what I mean about that is that as the in-house agency team, I am KPI'd, my goals are exactly the same as the marketing team and as the product team, which means that we're all pulling together to make sure that our products are a success. And I think if you want to work in an in-house team, you have to care about genuinely working on real business problems, and that's something that I know me and the team absolutely love. Now, I mentioned this lead agency model earlier. You might be thinking, what is that? Well, it allows us to blend the best of both worlds. It means that we can have internal and external teams working together. So I spoke about those 420. But we work, yes, with content creators, with production companies, and external agencies. And we take the lead on procuring those agencies. We decide who we work with and how we work with them. And everyone working together in that way, it keeps us fresh. You know, together we push boundaries. You do also have to be mindful when you're an in-house team that you do work for one brand. Now, the Lego Group is multifaceted, but still, we're very conscious that it's important to bring the outside in. And the other way that we take the lead, and perhaps this is a little more unusual, is on production budgets. So the global production budget sits in the global agency, and our SVP gets to decide how we spend the money. Obviously, this is in collaboration with our marketing teams, but we can also make calls on where we might want to take a risk, where we might want to move money to make an idea possible, because we think that will have a big impact on the brand or our sales. And of course, I think we have some of the best fans in the world. A brand is nothing without its community, and our AFOLs, adult fans of Lego, have been creating with us for decades, and they fuel social channels with content. Last year alone, the Lego hashtag on TikTok generated 17.8 billion views. That's a lot of content. My kids aren't allowed on TikTok, otherwise they would also be fueling that number. But that is the power of fandom. So I wanted to share some work with you, of course. Now, we've been collaborating, well, we were collaborating before it was cool. And the partnership that we have with Lucasfilm on Lego Star Wars is one of the longest running and most successful partnerships or brand collaborations in history. So, you know, over the years, yes, we've created amazing products together, but we also get to blend the Star Wars universe with that unique Lego humour that I spoke about in ways that I don't think anyone else can. In fact, Disney tells us that nobody else can. So the piece of work that I'm going to share was to celebrate this 25th anniversary of Lego Star Wars. So imagine the scene. I'm at the table where we're going down the list, right? Who wants the Ninjago brief? Who wants the Lego Star Wars brief? So I was like, me, please let it be me. So it was great to go to the team and say, we've been given the Lego Star Wars brief because we have so many Star Wars nerds in the team. So the team came up with this idea of a celebration of fan creativity. And yes, we put out the sets, but it's fan creativity that really makes Lego Star Wars, we feel. Hope builds rebellions, but imagination builds galaxies. So the first piece of work that we put out to celebrate this monumentous 25th anniversary moment was quite simply a 25-second film festival. And here's the invitation.
So to celebrate 25 years of LEGO Star Wars, they're launching a film festival for May 4th. Anyone can submit in any style, as long as the film's 25 seconds long. Chewie, watch it!
Huh. That's no move.
So fans could download pre-licensed music, they had access to official Lucasfilm sound effects, and from a kit of parts on our .com site, we also uploaded how-to videos that we made with fan creators, and then we invited fans to upload their 25-second film, which they could make in any medium. Of course, the festival launched on May the 4th, when else? And fans' creations were screened online on our LEGO YouTube channel, but also in store, and we saw some of our markets put on screening events with panels of speakers. I spoke about our stores, our incredible ecosystem that we in the agency have to play with. And our stores, we don't just see them as shops, as sales channels. These are about creating amazing brand experiences for children and adults alike. And so they're intended to be a retail experience, and what better day to bring that to life than on May 4th, which we do every year for our Star Wars fans who queue all the way. I have been there and queued myself. They queue dressed up all the way around the stores. So here's a little flavour of what we did. Now, some of the eagle-eyed Star Wars fans might have noticed this in the film, is it was such a special year. They say never touch the logo. Well, we did, for one day only, and we didn't promote it beforehand. It was a total surprise to fans. We changed the Lego logo into the Star Wars language of Arabesh. I cannot tell you how difficult this was to get signed off by legal, but again, it's another example of the trust that we have across the Lego group and how we get ideas like this made. And the fans loved it. The fans shared that they'd managed to get hold of one of the bags. They framed the bags. They shared that they'd framed the bags. They even sold the bags on eBay. It was quite something. Now, that all-important sense of humour I spoke about, that has to come through in the product advertising as well. So, for the fans out there, when we launched Jabba's sail barge, we did it as a parody of the ultimate luxury cruise holiday. And fans were in on the joke. For those of you that know, you know that life aboard the Katana is anything but luxury, and it's certainly not relaxing. But that playful sense of humour is exactly what we mean when we say, is this something that only the Lego Group could do with this partnership? Have a look.
Boshuda, no Leo si ibak to Java. Sando watuho tukaduya fubo. Grandiose tell. Na ethitasuka. Hunk. Hibasmo. Batudra flaga fecto.
And I love what the team did there with Princess Leia. Now, I couldn't come here today and talk to you about epic collabs or fandom and not mention the work that we've recently done with Formula One. We created an incredible moment at the Miami Grand Prix Drivers Parade. It was just 2 weeks ago, so I don't even have a case study film to share with you. But the F1 drivers arrived expecting a photo op with life-size Lego cars. I mean, cool. What they didn't expect was what we unveiled, which were 10 fully drivable Lego-built F1 cars, one for each of the team on the grid. This was our purpose in motion. This is all about inspiring creativity through play, and watching the drivers' genuine reactions was just so joyful, and the team that were there on the ground said it was an absolute pinch-me moment. This is about turning brand moments into cultural moments, and that's the magic of what we get to do. So, what does this all mean? Well, let me leave you with 3 key takeaways. The first, at the Lego Group, we talk about working as one team, and that's because we genuinely believe that collaboration is a creative engine. The best ideas come when we build together as a creative force, with partners, agencies, creators, fans. Openness and transparency is very important in those relationships. And when we work as one team, we get to build much bigger and bolder ideas, we think, than if we worked alone. The second thing I hope you saw through the work, we fuel the fandom. So we don't just talk to fans, we build with them. And our community isn't just an audience, it's a creative force. We give fans the space to co-create with us and to feel part of the story. And I think that is how brands move from being liked to loved. And then lastly, we keep experimenting. We keep evolving. Creativity thrives on courage. And we take chances, we try new things, we learn fast, and we learn from our mistakes. But at 90 years young, and remember these in my pocket, it's that spirit of playful reinvention, those possibilities, that's what we believe really keeps a 90-year young brand relevant and future ready. So that just leaves me to say it's been awesome being here, opening the door and letting you inside a little tour of the Lego Group, and also to be here at the D&AD Festival, because those are 2 powerhouse creative brands that have come together. So big thanks for having me, D&AD.